just living your life. Like, I didn't want to live my life like that. So you find your motivation, in those down times. That to me is the most important thing.
Yes.
You find my motivation at the beginning came from, going to school with a bunch of rich kids and being homeless, living in the back of a pickup truck and people making fun of me. Those were the things that drove me.
Yes.
So that motivation, I think a lot of times people they look at they don't want to look at the challenge they've gone through, but you can find the inspiration in those challenges.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Driven Not Given podcast. Man, and I got to tell you guys, this is a treat for me. This gentleman that we're going to be talking to today has been a mentor of mine for over a decade. I heard about him over 2 decades ago. One of the top, most talented, most successful network marketers in the world. And I got the good pleasure of not only living close to him, that's why we're able to have him live, but he actually agreed to come on. So with that being said, I want to introduce Mr. Herr. What's up, brother?
Mr. Rangel, fired up, man.
Good.
Glad to be here.
Me too, man. Me too. One of the first things I was talking to you about when we got here was you made a big transformation from when I met you, bro. Like, now you're all jacked and stuff, and you look like Randy Savage now, man. You know what I'm saying? So what's up with this new Tim, man? You look like 20 years younger, bro.
I'll tell you the truth, bro.
Right.
I was sick and tired of I felt like, man, my wife, she only wants to make out with me whenever the lights are out, right? So I'm like, I got to be able to do something. So I was just to a point where I was like, man, I just want to be able to get my wife in a position where she wants to make out with me with the lights on. So that was why I did what I did.
That's a good motivation, man. Shit. Well, you did a good job of it, brother. No, man. And so one of the things that I want to get into the working out. But before that, what I want to do is I want to dive in a little bit about your story. You've made a ton of money. You made millions of dollars in the network marketing industry. And so I remember your story briefly. And it's a very interesting story about how you got involved in the network marketing industry. So tell me a little bit about where you grew up, bro. And
originally I was from Indiana, but we moved out here to California when I was 12. And when we moved out here, we didn't have a house. My mom had actually sold our food stamps to get enough money. She got $200 off our food stamps, and we jumped in the back of a pickup truck, and we moved out here. And we were living in this truck. We had a little camper shell in the back, and we were living in this camper shell in this truck. And that was when I was 12. And then when I was, we were moving to motels and hotels and things like that. And then when I was 14, I moved out on my own.
Right.
And
at 14.
At 14, and I was just super poor. But my mom was like, "Hey, if we're gonna be homeless and we're gonna park our car, why don't we park it in Irvine, right?" So
Right.
we grew up in a safe area.
Nice.
And but I was around a lot of rich kids, and money really mattered to them. So I was like, man, you know what? I want to have some money too someday. So I was just kind of waiting for my chance, and then I got introduced to networking. My brother-in-law called me and said, "Hey, I met this rich guy. Come check this thing out." So that's really how I got introduced to the concept. Someone just told me, "Hey, I found a way to make some serious money. Met somebody that's wealthy, and I think we can make some money with them." And I was just like, "Why not?"
And were you working when you got invited for the first time?
Well, I had a job at Boomers. I've been working there for a year. So I was a little go-kart track in Irvine, and I worked on turn 6 for Thunder Road, and I had a little sign that said no bumping, and that was my job. That's the only job I ever had. My resume is not very impressive, man.
Wow, yeah. So you did Boomers and network marketing.
That's it.
Wow,
yeah.
Wow. So you got invited. You're working at Boomers. You got introduced to the network marketing industry. How'd you do? Right? Like, I know me, I made $60 my first 6 months, and then company went away. So I didn't do very well. How did you do your first network marketing?
6 months, man. $60. That's you stop bragging over here.
I know, right? Exactly.
I think I made $11.
Right.
But for me, it was the first 6 months were terrible for me because I wasn't doing what they told me to do.
Right.
That was the biggest challenge, and I was like, hey, I'm not going to go. It was really that newfound freedom, that people get.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I've never been a business owner before,
right.
So I'm just going to do what I want to do.
Exactly.
And I got to a point where I was just so broke. I was like, man, I got to stop messing around.
Yes.
Just show me what to do, and I'll do it. I'm no more questioning, no more debating, no more discussing. I'm just going to do it. Mm-hmm. And I thought back to how I played sports, right? My coach said, hey, go run a mile. I'm not going to run a mile. I'm going to mile and a quarter, right? I'm going to do more.
Right.
If we've got to go up and down these stairs 60 times, I'm going to do it 70. So I was always that guy that wanted to do a little bit more. So when I got networking, after those first 6 months of just being an idiot and not doing what they told me to do, I started doing more than what they told me to do. And the next 6 months was able to make $147,000. It was actually $147,686.33, right? But nobody's counting. But the next 6 months would change everything. That's really what it was.
So you're telling me first 6 months made nothing, and then the very next 6 months you made 100 and what?
147,000.
How old were you?
I was 17, turning 18.
That's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
$140-something thousand. Even now, right? Because how many years ago was that?
90. That was 96. So. Geez.
Wow, 25 years ago.
Oh yeah.
That's nuts, man. 140-something thousand. And then how long did you stay with that company for?
I would say we were there probably about 3.5, maybe 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, man.
Yeah, right about there.
Yeah. One of the things I've seen lately with you is, we've been friends on social media. We keep in touch from time to time. I noticed that, you build a very big organization with the company that you're with now, and spend a lot of time coaching, spend a lot of time with your family, spend a lot of time getting jacked over the last couple of years, right? And so tell me a little bit about that, because we have a lot of people in the direct sales, network marketing industry that watch the podcast. And so about paying the price and what is possible, right? With the, not only the money, but the time freedom, because I've seen that a lot with you, right?
Yeah. Well, the big thing that motivated me at the beginning was money. I was really money motivated because I just, being as poor as I was, living in a car and things like that, I never wanted, that just scared the hell out of me. I was just scared of that, man. I don't want to go back there.
Right.
And I don't want my kids to ever experience what I experienced. So, when I got into networking, I worked really hard. I don't mind, I'm actually lazy, right? If you want, like Bill Gates says, hey, if you want something done right, give it to a lazy person because they'll do it really quickly, right?
Right.
So I was like, I want to get this thing done fast. So I'm willing to work hard, just so I don't have to work for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I grinded in network marketing, and I did it, for 20 years, working my tail off. And, really like the last 5 years, you get to a point where money doesn't matter anymore, where it's like, hey, if you got $20 million in the bank or $25 million in the bank, that extra $5 million is not going to make you any happier.
Right.
So then it's not really about money anymore.
Yeah.
It's about, making a difference. And for me, be able to spend that time with the kids, because my wife and I, our oldest is like 23, and then we have a 20-year-old, and then we got a 14 and a 5-year-old. And I think back to whenever my 23-year-old, my 20-year-old were kids, and I wasn't there at all. I was just busy grinding. And I feel bad, and I can't go back. And I tell them all the time, and they just say, it was to watch you was motivating. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So to watch you, leave the house before we woke up, and you wouldn't get home until after we went to bed, 7 days a week. And they were like, it motivated them, because he's out there working somewhere. But what really got me fired up was about that freedom.
Yes.
When I got in. Now with these other kids, I'm like, damn, what? I wish I could be there more for them. So
Right.
just to be able to be there, like, tomorrow morning we're leaving and jumping on a plane, going to a football tournament in Georgia,
That's
and
cool.
just to be able to just do that on a consistent basis, to be able to have fun and enjoy it. That's what it's about,
It is. That's what you work so hard for. And that's one of the things I saw a long time ago. And I knew that when I became a father, I wanted to have that freedom, right? But that's one of the things that drove me, because I knew that one day I would be a father. So I wanted to acquire the skills, the network, the business, the income. That way when that happened, So in that heyday, when you weren't able to see your kids that often because you worked so much and you were building, what would you say a standard day looked like, bro? Like, you woke up at what time, and then you came back at what time, and what did you do in between?
Yeah, I would get there. I worked at that time. I worked out of an office. So I'd get there to the office at 6 a.m. There's been times in my career too where I didn't work out of office, but Starbucks was my office, right? So it was the same damn thing. Get there at 6.
Wow.
But I would like to get there at 6. So the first couple hours I could read some books, I could listen to some personal growth and development, and really work on me, get myself really fired up for the day. And then, at 8 o'clock, I would just, start having some type of a leadership meeting with my people that needed, that had more time, that were maybe full-time individuals or people that were, running hard. I would meet with those guys, make sure that they're all fired up, and then I would start following up.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me is the follow-up process. Because see the thing about it is the people that we've talked to this week, those are the most important people, right? As those new guests.
Right.
So we've got people that we've exposed to the business over the last week, whatever it might be. I've got to make sure that those people I contact.
Yes.
Right. I've got to make sure, because I've got, this is my business, So I
Right.
got to make sure I'm getting on the phone with those people. If I had an event last night, I got to get on the phone with the people that were there, the guests. So the registration sheet was always the most valuable thing to me, because those are the people I care about the most, is the new blood of my business.
Right.
So me, my leaders, right. Then I talk to my people that, that've been in the business, follow up with them, things that are going on. But more importantly, I'm talking to those new people. You got people that have just gotten started and people that haven't gotten started yet. Those, to me, are the most important people in the business. Because what most people like to do, and you know this more than anybody, is that they like to get around the guys that they're around and they're comfortable with at the good old boys club, and let's just talk to these guys all the damn time. I don't need to talk to them. You know what I mean? They're leaders. They're making money,
Yep.
right? I don't need to worry about them. I need to worry about that new guy.
Right.
That's my business.
Right.
And that's always been the deal. So I need to know the new people. That's the lifeblood of my business is the new people. So that's always been my number one focus.
Got it. What would you say, because you're one of the best speakers I've ever seen, bro, and trainers in just in any industry really, what would you attribute the thing that or one or two things that attributed to you becoming such a great presenter?
At the beginning, it was trying to be like other people.
Okay.
So literally, like I would say, like my first year or two, maybe 3, I was like a parrot. Like literally, I would sound, and it was whoever the flavor of the month was, right? You know. Right. And I look back at videos of me back when I was 17, 18, 19, whatever it might be. And I'm going, oh my God, you could tell who I was studying right there. You're like, oh, this guy was on some Anthony Robbins right there. Oh, he's on some Jim Rohn, right? So you could see, oh, he's been into some Les Brown. Yeah. He's talking great. So I would try to be all these other people. And then what happened was I just developed my own identity, you know, and it was once I stopped caring about what other people thought of me, that was the biggest thing, you know, and I think that's nowadays, mainly with the younger generation of people.
Right.
So many people are into likes and, you know, give me a thumbs up. Do you like what I'm doing? Do I like, are you followers and likes? I don't care about that. Right. I don't care if someone likes me or not. I'm here. You're not here to be liked. You're here to lead, right? I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear and tell you what you need to hear.
That was good.
And I'm going to be in your face. You know, that's my deal. I'm going to be in your damn face. And that's the biggest thing I think is a challenge with most people is that they're really, maybe it's an insecurity. I guess it really is. But it's like, don't worry about what other people think of you. Who cares? You can't think through thoughts anyways, right? So it's all about just doing, you know, what you're going to do and living your life and just doing your thing and not being concerned what other people think of you. That to me is the magic.
That's absolutely true. Because one of the things that we know for sure, whether it's network marketing or just business in general, that's one of the things that kills a lot of people's motivations and dreams real quick is other people's opinions of you. At the end of the day, I'm now 38. I look back when I was younger and when I used to care about certain people's opinions. A lot of those people, they're not in my life anymore, man. Who gives a shit? Doesn't matter, right? And if I'm going to look like a fool, that's fine. 5 years from now when I make it, 10 years from now when I make it, right, and whatever subject we're talking about, nobody's going to remember that shit. They're gonna see the finished product, what we've got right now. But that was one of the things that I suffered from a lot was caring about other people's opinions. So when you mentioned that resonates with me big time.
Yeah.
To me, one of the things that helped me on the getting more comfortable with speaking was a one-on-ones, bro. Because I would just do nonstop, and you would too, bro. And this is one of the things I learned from you. I would do nonstop one-on, whether it was with 2 guys, 5 guys, or a full group of people, or one dude, right? Just one-on-ones. Then I mastered the presentation. So then when I would do a presentation, I didn't have to read the slides. I knew what was on there. And I said, I repeat, you know, the mind forgets, the body remembers, right? And I would just do that over and over. And then I would model people like you. Like I would say the bangle joke all the time, right? About your wives and stuff, and willing to punch a bangle in the tiger in the face. And so I think that's such a great piece of advice is to find somebody that you want to model and copy that. Who were some of the people on the personal development side that, and I think I know the answer to a certain degree here, that you would recommend forget network marketing, just any entrepreneur in general? Who are some people that you would recommend for people to listen to or read their books?
Well, it's interesting. I would say today is a lot different, and I'll tell you why in a second. But when I first got in, it was Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was my deal. Like I just lived and eat, sleep, breathe Jim Rohn. Right. And then literally, I would say that was literally it. Like I would love me some Les Brown. I would love me some John C. Maxwell.
Right.
These guys had such an impact. Right. They had so many impact on different parts of my career. Tony Robbins. But, the Jim Rohn was really what got me going.
Right.
And memorizing. Literally, I would just memorize it. Just like a new song comes out. Right. Oh, the baby just dropped this new album. Oh, let's just keep on listening to it, memorizing it. And, these younger generation, they know all the words, right, to all these crazy mumble rappers. But the reality is that it's not making them any money.
Right.
And then what I did is I just listened to Jim Rohn. And I could just, it is a challenge to succeed. If it were not, I'm sure more people would be successful. But for every person who's enjoying the fruit from the tree of success, 1,000 are examining the roots. And I know it all like a million times. But it's like you listen to it so many times, you just memorize it. And then it was in John C. Maxwell, that 21-year laws of leadership came out. I just threw myself in that. So I've always been in a constant stage of always growing and developing. But today it's a little different. Today I'm spending a lot of time with my son and his football team. He's 14, he's in 8th grade. So we spent a lot of time. I just got done 13. I did coach his 13U team last year during COVID, and that was another story. But I spent a lot of time with these kids, and they don't really, the Jim Rohns and these things, because they're more business,
right,
doesn't really resonate well with them. So I do more sports guys. So Trevor Mowat, right, who's a kind of a personal growth and development person, but it's more geared towards sports, right?
Yes.
Or I was talking to you earlier about David Goggins, right? Or Tim Grover, right, or one of these types of guys, or we'll listen to audio, we'll like research, and listen to the story of Julian Edelman or Tom Brady or whoever,
right,
the football players that he likes, and just listen and listen. It's always just about listening and growing. So a lot of times people say, "What should I read?" Something. Let's start there.
Right.
Let's start with something, and then we can figure out what we want to perfect on. But the key is you got to be always listening to something. Like we just got done doing Bob Bowman's book on the Golden Rules. It's called, but it's about he was the coach that coached Michael Phelps, right, and all these different people. It's like I don't care about swimming, but it's sports, and I just loved it. So we just got done with that book this last week, and before that, like I said, we read that Trevor Mowat book again, and before that was Tim Grover, and before that, we were listening to Relentless by Tim Grover. So we're just always listening to sports things. My son and I are when we're driving from workout to workout or from practice to practice or whatever it might be. But the key is you just got to always be growing and learning.
Yes.
That to me is the most important thing. Whatever it might be,
right,
positive information is positive information, and we just got to get that in people's minds. And that's why I love what you do with these podcasts and what you're doing, because you're just helping people get the information. And that's what's magical.
Yes,
get the information in people's hands. Let them run with it.
That's right. Yeah,
that's the magic.
The bottom line is personal growth, right? There's a lot of avenues to get it, and nowadays it's easy. The information is out there, right? There's a million videos of people like Goggins and Tim Grover and all these guys available for free. Remember back in the days, none of that shit was available for free. We had to go out there and buy those tapes and those CDs and whatnot. DVDs, So now it's like, what is the excuse for people to even like in the direct sales, network marketing, just sales? There's a bunch of free training online that people could go out there and get. But most people use those means, those tools like YouTube, for entertainment purposes. You know what I mean? And one of the things, I know that you're very big on leadership. What is one of the biggest sales organizations, bro, or the biggest sales organization that you've built? Yeah,
I've been doing this for a long time. And some of those groups that I built, some of these previous businesses, they just keep growing. So I have no idea how big they are now,
right.
But I think the group that I built right now, the organization, is a little over 5 million people that we put into the program, and it's just you just go out there and just share some information, and it's not me. I wish I could say it was me, but I just introduced it to a handful of people. I didn't do no 500 people. What would my 6 a.m. look like, bro? I'd be all day long if I was going to talk to 5 million people myself. But I just introduced it to a couple people, and just keep on going.
That's a grip of people, man. And that company, that sales organization, is doing a ton of volume, man.
Yeah.
You guys are crushing. You guys just absorbed a very big company, World Ventures, right?
Yeah.
How's that working out?
I mean, we've got some unbelievable leaders, man. I mean, that's to me is what it's about.
Yes.
Is getting around these guys and what they've been able to accomplish in their careers and just learning from them. That's my whole thing, is I just want to get around people that I can learn from. That's why I like spending time with you when we get a chance to catch up on the phone and things, because you're always just trying to grow and develop.
Yeah.
And that's the magic to the business, is get around good people, get around people that are making it happen.
Yes.
And just learning from them. And that's what I try to do.
Something's gonna rub off.
Something good's gonna happen.
Something good's gonna happen, man. One of the things that I saw is you got some guys that just joined that organization. And the thing is that people don't follow people or don't partner up with people that don't have a big vision, that aren't making it happen. If you were not Tim Herr, if you were just, Joe Schmo, and your company was that way, these guys wouldn't have came over, right? So leadership. And let's say, for example, somebody's 18 years old and they have to pick, in this example, 3 or 4 skills for them to go out there and be a success. We're talking about generic, just in life, right? What are some skills that you would recommend somebody to really hone in on?
I mean, the biggest skill I would say is growth and development. I mean, that's the most important thing, because that'll take care of your attitude. You can't listen into an audio program for an hour and have a bad attitude afterwards, right? Because attitude to me is everything. My mentor always said, hey, we teach skills, but we recruit attitudes. So you're looking for that attitude, right? Yep. So you got to, number one, have that attitude. That's where I think personal growth and development comes from. Even if someone's got a bad attitude, just jump into personal growth and development. That'll have to be taken care of.
Correct.
You can't just listen to it and not have a good attitude. But I think when it comes to, to becoming successful in network marketing, I think the biggest thing is getting over that situation where you care what other people think.
Right.
You got to be able to build that thick skin. And I think once again, though, that comes back down to personal development. So when it comes to just doing it, I think the biggest thing is just doing it. I think a lot of times, most people, they get ready, and they're ready, aim, and they're not firing.
That's right.
You want to learn how to do something right? Well, just go out there and do it wrong, and you're going to learn real quickly.
That's good.
When most people, they'll go out there and they'll talk to somebody and they don't get the result they want. And then they start to go, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong, or what am I doing wrong? What am I doing? And then they start questioning themselves. And the biggest challenge that people have is they start questioning themselves.
Right.
The only thing that people are missing more times than not is the fact that they think that they're missing something. When people are like, what's wrong with you? Well, what's wrong with you is you think that something's wrong with you.
Right.
Because what I know in network marketing, now looking back at it throughout my career, it's like, man, you know what, dude? I spent a lot of time running around in circles, and I was just doubting, and I had a little bit of, maybe something's wrong with me. Why can't I do it? And I had that little bit of doubt was holding me back from unleashing. And once you just realize, dude, it doesn't take anything. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how smart you are.
Right.
None of that matters. What matters, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, or you're this ethnicity or that ethnicity, or you're this color or that. None of that crap matters. What matters is in your heart, just going out there and just doing it.
Right.
That's the magic. It's just do it. Do the damn work. Stop thinking and do it. Well, I don't feel like doing it. Well, do it. You know what I mean?
What
like,
if I fail? Then fucking fail.
Go fail and learn from it, and then keep on failing. Because if you want to succeed, you got to fail your way to the top.
Yes.
That's the only way to do it.
That's right.
Most people are afraid of failing.
Yep.
They're scared to fail, and the reality is the only way to win is to fail.
Yep.
Whoever can fail the most is going to win.
Yep.
If you can fail the most, you're going to automatically win in network marketing, because you're not going to succeed 7 times out. Just like baseball.
Right.
If you're afraid to fail, you're not going to step up to the plate. But if you're going to hit that ball, 3 times out of 10, then you're going to make a fortune.
Yes.
You don't need to bat, 10 out of 10.
Right.
No one's going to do that. So the magic is, I think, in network marketing more than anything else, is not being afraid to do it. You just got to do the damn work.
Yep.
And stop thinking, stop questioning, stop being afraid, and just do it. It doesn't matter. I think the magic for me getting involved when I was 17 is I was maybe too stupid to be afraid. Right, I was just like, I'm just gonna go do it. Yes. I didn't know my limits. I think a lot of times people, they grow up a little bit and they start to get conditioned. Like that flea, and
right.
they don't want to jump anymore.
Yes,
and they don't realize that lid's off. So I think you just got to do it.
I think that story about the flea is awesome. You mind sharing with the audience about that story about the flea?
Well, a lot of people don't know much about training fleas.
Yes,
but I was fortunate enough to get around some flea trainers, and they taught me how to change these damn fleas. But when you take a flea off of a dog's back, the average flea can jump about this high.
Okay.
Right? Unless it jumps on your podcast, it can jump about this damn high, right? But, the reality is they can jump about this high, and you put them in one of those little jars, little mason jars, and you kind of close the lid on them, and that mason jar is about this high. It'll start jumping, it'll start whacking its head on it.
Right.
And it starts banging its head on this mason jar, and it doesn't like it, but it'll keep doing it. It'll keep doing it for about 24 hours. And then it realizes if it doesn't jump so high, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Right.
It doesn't hurt anymore.
Right.
And you can actually take that lid off that mason jar, and that flea won't jump out.
Wow.
And the flea won't jump out because it can't jump out because it's conditioned to believe it can't jump any further.
Wow.
And that's how most people are.
Yes.
Is they're just, the lid's off, but they're afraid to let go and just give it 100%. And the key is we just got to give it 100% in everything that we do.
Yeah.
We're going to get the results.
That's right. When you talk about failure, people are afraid to fail. And part of the reason why people are afraid to fail is because they care about other people's opinion. What's somebody going to think? I got friends that when they got into real estate, they say, yeah, I'm getting a lot of pressure from my family because, it's not a steady income like network marketing, right? It's commission only and whatnot. I'm like, who cares? If other people could be successful realtors or network marketers or whatever the case may be, then you could do it as well. But who gives a shit what they think, man? Just go out there and freaking do it. Mm-hmm. So you've had a lot of success in your career, right? But also you just mentioned something very key. You fail your way to the top. So was there a time in your life where you were doing great and then all of a sudden you had a massive setback, right? Financial wise, or just, something that really took the wind off your sails?
There's been a lot, man.
Yeah.
You think about it, like the last 5 companies I've been in network marketing, I've been able to be blessed enough to make $100,000 a month in 5 companies. Wow. So somebody goes, well, that's impressive. To me, it's not. To me, that means you're an idiot, right? If you did it one time, what the heck you got to do it again, right?
Yeah.
And the reason being is because, whatever it might be, whether I have a disconnect with the owners of the company, or I don't trust them, I don't believe in them. And to me, that's the most important thing, is just trusting the people that I'm building the business with. But, that's the biggest challenge, when I'll leave a situation and I'm starting all over again, it's tough, man. When you go from that type of income, sometimes your lifestyle kind of grows a little bit. And you got to kind of take a step back. But there's been many times, and looking back at the beginning of my career, geez, I mean, there was just so many damn times. There was a time my mentor told me, he says, man, if you want to quit this business, he goes, you got to ask yourself why you're doing it. My son was 1 at the time, and it was very early on in my career. And I was starting a new business, and he told me, he says, man, when you want to quit, he goes, if you're doing this for your son, he goes, I want you to go to your son and tell him, hey, you know what, I'm giving up on my dreams for you. I'm quitting.
Damn.
And I was like, I'll never do that, Wound up driving up to, I think it was Bakersfield to do this training. Mm-hmm. Or no, it was an event. So I drive all the way up to Bakersfield from my house. I don't know what it was like, 2.5, 3 hour drive, whatever it was. And I get there, and not just the guest in there, the guy that was set up the damn meeting wasn't there. No one was there. And I was like, damn.
Wow.
And I was down on my luck, and I drove all the way back, and I was just distraught, And I went home, and my son was sleeping when I got home. And I was like, I got to quit. And I went into his room, and he was sleeping, and I was just looking at him, and I put my arm on him. I put my hand on his arm, and I just looked him in the eyes. And I was like, I just don't have what it takes.
Right.
So the thing about me is I'm not a quitter. I don't know how to really quit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't know how to say that. And to me, that was, there was challenges. There was times where, I remember taking my oldest son to Target, and he wanted to get like a G.I. Joe. And I remember saying, hey, we'll come back and get that.
Yeah.
And I started pushing the car a little bit away, and I was like, damn, I just lied to my son.
Right.
And I didn't want to live like that.
Right.
I didn't want to lie to my damn kid. I didn't want to say, hey, we'll be back. And I knew the hell we weren't coming back because we barely had enough money to be able to buy milk or whatever it was. So just living your life, I didn't want to live my life like that. So you find your motivation, in those down times. Mm-hmm. That to me is the most important thing. Yes. You find my motivation at the beginning came from, going to school with a bunch of rich kids and being homeless, living in the back of a pickup truck and people making fun of me and taking a bath in McDonald's bathroom before I went to school and and then going to school. Those were the things that drove me.
Yes.
So that motivation, I think a lot of times people they look at they don't want to look at the challenge they've gone through, but you can find the inspiration in those challenges that are going to drive you past the fear. Right? It's like the fear of going back to a life like that, or the fear of, having to tell my son, hey, look, you know what, we're going to come back for that. That's not what I wanted to do. So it's like, man, no matter what I got to do, I'm going to do it. Let's go do it. Let's go make it happen.
Right.
That's the deal. You just got to find that motivation.
Absolutely, man. You talk a lot about mentors, right? Even now, you mentioned about a mentor and what they told you. How important is it for anybody that wants to increase in their life, right? Anybody that wants to do better with whatever they're doing, for them to, number one, have a mentor, but number two, staying on the mentor subject, would you recommend it have to be a mentor that you could physically talk to or interact with, even if it's on the phone? Or it could be a mentor, from afar? Yeah,
there's no question. I've had so many dang mentors, that are just from audio programs I listen to.
Right.
And that always listening to personal growth and development, just doing that all the damn time. On the way up here, I'm listening to David Goggins. I'm about to jump out of the car and start flipping cars on the freeway. But I'm always learning, always growing. And at the beginning, I didn't have a mentor. And people ask me, what do you look for in a mentor? Someone that sees something in you that you don't see in yourself. That's the magic. You know what I mean? Because a mentor is someone whose hindsight can become your foresight, right? Somebody can say, hey, look, this is what I went through. These are the challenges I went through. And to be able to take somebody over those obstacles. Because literally our job as leaders is to navigate people through landmines. That's all we do.
Right.
Navigate people through landmines so they don't step on these damn landmines. You know what I mean? And we know where they are because we've walked through the minefields, right? We know where they are and where they aren't. We've seen people blown up and shit. Some of us have lost some limbs or two.
That's right.
So it's don't step on that, right? So that's really what our objective is to guide people through those landmines so they don't step on them. And that's what a good mentor will do. But the reality is sometimes your mentor comes from afar. Listening to person. Literally, I listen to Jim Rohn, Challenge to Succeed, every damn day for damn near 3 years, and how to have your best year ever, and all of his different programs. So that was really what drove me at the beginning, is just listening and learning and growing and always growing. So you're going to have a ton of different mentors. You're going to have mentors that you work with personally, and you're going to have people that you learn from afar.
Yep.
And that's the magic of mainly nowadays this the way this information's so readily available, there's no excuse other than you don't have the desire. So get it.
Absolutely, man. One of the people that we talked about before the podcast was Jose Ardon. I remember one time I was, I forgot where I was. I think I was at the Embassy Suites in Downey. He was having an event. He invited me. And I was in his training, and he says something that I'll never forget. He said, when I was broke, because, the guy's made millions of dollars, right? He said, when I was broke, I remember having about $12 or $15 in my pocket, and I could either go to a local restaurant to buy some food. But I decided to go to Beverly Hills to have a coffee because I wanted to network with high net worth individuals, right? Mm-hmm. He says, that was my mindset. My mindset is, hey, man, I could eat anywhere else. But if I could only afford to have a coffee in Beverly Hills and network with the people in that area, then that's what I choose to do. And so I'm big on mentors, right? I've studied you for years. I've seen probably almost every YouTube video. By the way, people that know me, they hear me always talk about the aim, and never. This is who I got it from. So if you ever wonder, you've heard me, because I've said that for freaking years, bro. This is who I got it from. Honestly, I have forgot who I got it from, Tim, because I said it so many years, because you and I worked together like back in 2011 or something, 2010. And so I had forgot. Now it's clear as day. I remember, as a matter of fact, we used to have meetings in that Irvine office and stuff, But all of this personal growth that you've done, bro, now you are very active with your kids and their sports and whatnot, right? How has that helped you on the father side, right? Because you've been a mentor to thousands of people, at least from afar, tens of thousands minimum, right? How has that helped you out on the father side, bro?
And I'll even take it a step further, because before, it was mainly about the kids, but now more than ever before, it's my wife and I's relationship. I mean, it's unbelievable.
That's good.
And it's, it's been 24 years, her and I have been married, pushing 25 this year. And and we've been through it all together. But I mean, the most important aspect of everything is that right there. That to me is everything. That relationship that we have is focusing in on that. It's making sure that I'm, over the top with her love language. Right. Right. And knowing what makes her tick, and what makes her tick doesn't make me tick, right?
Correct.
So we have completely different love languages, right? And it's easy for me to give my love language because that's how I, express love, is how I receive it. So it's easy for me to express love the way I receive it. But the reality is that her love language is something different. And it's the exact opposite of what I like to do. So I've got to make sure I'm cognizant and aware of it, right? And make sure that I point out, hey, look, I'm doing this for you. Because she's more of that acts of service and I'm more, words of affirmation. But it's understanding that, right? Yes. And that stuff, that's personal growth and development.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with our kids, knowing our kids' love language and watching them change throughout their lives, right? Watching my 24-year-old son or my 23-year-old son, watching his love language change, right?
Yes.
It used to be quality time, now it's words of affirmation, and just kind of notice, hey, baby, have you been able to see that his love language is kind of starting to change.
Interesting.
And seeing my daughter, she's in a relationship with her boyfriend, and be able to say, hey, buddy, you're not speaking her language. Why? You're speaking your language, dude. You're like speaking, stop, bro. That's not her love language. You're speaking your love language.
That's good.
And just to be able to help people out with those types of things. But and it's in everything, right, man? We spend so much damn time with these kids, and to be able to make a difference in their lives. Because a lot of the kids that I try to I take a liking to are the kids that were like me.
Yes.
I never had a dad growing up. I didn't know him after I was 7. And my mom, we grew up on welfare and government programs, and we lived in the back of a damn car, and I moved out when I was a kid. So I take to these kids, and I love them, man, and I just want to see them do great, and that's the biggest thing is that, I love getting a chance to be able to be around these kids and seeing these kids that, even with my son, who's 23, those kids that we coached back then coming back to me and saying, hey coach, hey coach, hey coach. Cool. And seeing these kids that are growing, and it's just making a difference in people's lives. Because at the end of the day, that to me is the legacy. Is the legacy is just making a difference in people's lives, right? Yes. How can we positively impact people? That's why I loved your program and what you're doing with the podcast, because you're making an impact on people's lives. Yeah. How can I kind of share some of this information that I've been able to be, fortunate enough to be able to get my hands on with other people, right, so they can hear it too, right? And that's why I was like, hey, of course, I'd come up there in a heartbeat because I just want to be able to make a difference, and I don't care what it is. Maybe something I say to somebody, bam, boom, makes that difference. Right. That's all we can do. Right. Is try to do the best that we can to make a difference in people's lives. And some people will be like, oh, you know what, that's stupid, or that's BS. They have some selfish ulterior motive or whatever it might be. But kids aren't like that. Right. The magic is a kid. When I tell a grown person tell a grown-ass man, hey, you've got what it takes to become successful. You can live a life like you want. You can be anybody and do anything that you want to do. They're thinking, damn, this guy's, wow, he's got something behind. He's trying to trick me into something, right?
Right.
But when you tell a 10-year-old kid that, or an 8-year-old kid that you could do anything, they're getting jacked.
That's right.
And that's the key to me, is like, I love making an impact on these damn kids.
That's awesome.
And seeing them unleash their greatness, and seeing them, because no one, bottom line is this, and this is the same thing, I'll tell you what it is. No one cares about, oh man, I need to get more character, or I need to get more integrity. People aren't focused on that. I need to develop my leadership skills.
Right.
Bro, I don't care about that. I need to make some damn money, right? So, network marketing, basically all it is a personal growth, right, mission, but we hide it behind a compensation plan.
Right.
Because that's what people want. Now, with football, it's the same damn thing. You think a kid's like, hey, man, I need to get some more integrity. They ain't caring about that. They just want to play some football. They want to kick that other team's ass. Yeah. So I'm going to take integrity and all my selfish ulterior motives. I'm going to hide it right behind here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're going to make them better people without them even knowing it.
Nice.
And that's the magic, is trying to make people better people. And that's something that really has been my focus now, I would say now over the last 5 or 6 years, more than even before in my career. Because I've seen so many people that I've helped make millions, and I've seen them being on their second marriage or on their third marriage. And you're like, I forgot to tell them, you know what I mean? The most important damn thing is how to make the relationship work and helping them with their life. And that's what really mentoring, like we say, comes down to and goes back to.
Well, I love that you mentioned the 5 love languages. I read that book many, many years ago. What are those 5 love languages again?
Well, you got acts of service, right? Those are people that are just like, hey, the way that they express love for other people and the way they receive love is doing things for them, right? Then you have, the gifts, right? People that just love to receive gifts and give gifts, right? You got words of affirmation. People like to say, good things and hear good things. Then you've got people, obviously, that want to be quality time, right? They're just like, hey, let's spend time together. And then you have touch, right? People that just really respond to touch and always want to kiss and hug all the time. So everybody's got these love languages, and more times than not, like my wife's love language is acts of service. Mine is words of affirmation. Right. So if I can't not tell her how sexy she is all the time and tell her these things that I want to do later tonight with her. I just have to do that, right? That's the way I operate.
That's right.
But at the same time, she doesn't care about that, right? But what I do is, hey, babe, you know what? I want to take this trash out, right? Hey, you know what I mean? Let me go fill your car up with gas, right? Let me go wash your car. Let me get your car washed. Let me do these things for you, because that's how she receives love, right? So it's being cognizant of that. And that's, me being a promoter by nature, right? What promoters want to do is they want to save time, right? Yes. So they want to, they're looking for ways to not do those types of things, right? Because they're by nature trying to get other people to do those damn things. Yeah. So I've got to go out of my way, go against my nature to make sure I can show her that.
That's good.
And we just have so much fun, man. It's unbelievable, our relationship today. Looking even over the last 5 or 6 years, just seeing what it's transpired into, to me is exciting.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. And you and your wife, man, you guys are such a beautiful couple, and you guys been together for a long time, have a beautiful family, and that's one of the things that, as I get older, we value different things. Also, people's love languages change over time, right? Just because the maturity, the wisdom and whatnot. So I look at things like that. My wife and I were married almost 3 years now, but we've been together like 7. By the way, we just had our baby today, as you know. Thank you. That's why I still got the bands on from the hospital. I still got to go, but today they're leaving. But you just made me right now realize something. I got to reread that book. I got to identify today what is my wife's love languages so I can love her that way. And that's personal development goes deep. It isn't just about making money, man. It's about every aspect of your life. And you got to be constantly evolving, man. And I like to do it on purpose. I on purpose learn stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. I studied books on how to be a great father. Not a good father, but a great father. You know what I mean? And I took inspiration from people like you. It was one of the things, we were in your house one day. You were doing a leadership training, I think on a Saturday. Chepe was there. I was there. A couple guys. Shout out to Chepe. And I remember I didn't have a son yet. My wife and I hadn't even started dating yet. And you said to your son, I don't know which one it was, but you said to him, you asked him, why are you such a champion? I never forgot that day, bro. And I said, one day when I have a son, I'm going to say those exact words to him. And I've said those exact words to him, bro, many, many times. I call him a champion, and he knows he's a champion. And I got that inspiration from you, bro. And I want to thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro. And
I'll jump on top of that. And the reality is, and the fact of the matter is that it hit me one time. I was listening to John C. Maxwell, and he said in this audio, it was a video I was watching, he said, when the people that love you and respect you, or when the people that know you the most respect you the least, and the people that respect you the least people that know you the least respect you the most. That's not success.
No.
And that's what I realized was like, I'm watching this audio and I'm going, my wife just yelled at me about something. I don't know, probably, there are a million things she could have been yelling at me about. Yeah. But then the guy that was the FedEx guy she opens the door and she's nice to him. And then I'm watching this audio and I'm watching this video going, oh my God, that's me. Right? Whenever she's nicer to the FedEx guy than she is to me. Yeah. And I realized, man, I got to work on my inner circle. I've got to make sure that the people that are closest to me love and respect me the most. And if someone doesn't know me, I don't really need to care about them.
Right.
Most of the time, what we're trying to do is impress these other people out there that don't even know us. Right. And the people that know us the most, we're damn have these fights. So the biggest thing now is helping people understand that. Get those people that are closest to you.
That makes a lot of sense, man. I would be silly not to ask this question because myself and people watching this podcast, you've done, and I mentioned this earlier in the podcast, you've done a big transformation with your life and your physique, bro. You got jacked out of nowhere, man. Because when I met you, man, you were like this chubby dude and stuff. Nobody would confuse you for a guy that goes to the gym.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the truth, bro. And so, what are some of the tips that you could give to somebody that says, hey, man, I don't like the way I look. You said that your wife only wanted to kiss you when the lights were off, right? That's right. Funny as hell. So what advice would you give as far as just all around to make that transformation? Because there's a lot of people that are, It was a lot of fear loss. It was a lot of fear loss because me and my wife, we were on the same page, right? Let's go eat some damn donuts. And she got into it before me.
Got it. So I started to get insecure. I'm like, damn, she's gonna trade me in for the newer model, right? Right, she's gonna damn trade me in. Right. So I'm like, I need to get my crap together. So it was literally for me, it was like, damn. And then at that time we launched a nutraceutical line. I'm like, I can't be some fat guy selling diet products. So I knew what it took.
Yes.
I think the fact of the matter is most people knows. You know what it is. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with knowledge. It's not like, oh, we don't lack knowledge. Like, you Google, hey, what the heck? And there's everybody, do this diet, do that, do it, diet. What diet do I do? Something other than the Egg McMuffin diet. You know what I mean? Like, something to put that damn stuff down. Right. For me, it's a keto lifestyle, right? Because, that my body doesn't respond well to carbohydrates. But I'm not here to promote a freaking diet. Yeah, it doesn't matter. For me, it was just like, I got to do it. I got to do it. And mainly getting older, you start going, damn, I'm like, oh my God, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it, and it was, it literally, people ask me how long, because I lost 100 pounds in a little over 100 days. How were you able to do that?
Wow.
Well, it really wasn't 100 days. It was really friggin' 6 years or 8 years I've been telling myself, we got to get to it.
Right.
But once I made that damn decision, right, I'm like, boom, I made the decision, 100 days, the weight was off. Then I'm like, now I can start lifting and, getting in better shape. And I didn't think about it. I started to write these crazy ass goals on my mirror.
Yeah.
And I started doing them. Yeah. I was like, I want to bench 225, at the time I think it was like 10 times. And then it went up to 15 and then up to 25, then up to 35, And just to do it and then watch my son see me do it, I'm like, I can't even believe I'm doing this.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm lifting more than Aaron Donald did when he came into the NFL. How the hell am I doing that? I don't even know, right?
Wow.
But I'm just in there just grinding. And when I work out, I don't care about living. You know what I mean? Like when I'm doing, like we run stairs every day at the local high school, run up and down the damn stairs.
Every day,
45 minutes a day, nonstop, right? No freaking breaks. You know what I mean? Like, let's just go, right?
Wow.
We used to count it. We used to do like sets of 15, do 60 times. I'm like, let's just do 45 times because I don't like counting. And how many is it, man? I don't know. I got to do more now because I'm not counting. Just forget the counting so you don't even have to be there mentally. Just go out there and push yourself till your damn legs fall off, But to me, it's all about pushing myself. It's all about today, it's like, I'm just trying to kill myself. Like literally, I go into the gym and I'm just like trying to break my body. Wow. You know what I mean? Just destroy myself. And and I'm nowhere near where I want to be at. But it's the key is you keep setting these goals, and it's the same damn thing. I mean, it's all the same thing. You just set some goals, and your mind figures out how to do it. Yeah, we know how to do it.
You said something very key. Knowledge is not the problem. That's bullshit because knowledge is out there. Just burn more calories than you damn consume, man. You know what I mean? Go move your damn body, right? That's what you start doing. But you lost 100 pounds in 100 days, bro?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm going to reconsider the keto diet, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, because I don't respond well to carbs, but that's my weakness. Being Mexican, man, you know what I mean? It's, we're on the T diet, the tortillas, the tacos, and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? That it's a tough deal, man. But that's inspiring, man. I saw you. I saw you one time on Facebook. You were working out in your garage. I think you were deadlifting or something like that, man. Some major weight, bro. And I'm like, damn, when the hell did Tim get jacked like that, bro? That's awesome, man. Congratulations, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Things are a lot different, man. And now you can keep up with your kids more, right? Because how many kids do you have now? Four, yeah.
Yeah, that 5-year-old's got some energy, man. He's damn tough to keep up with.
5-year-old.
He
Wow.
didn't stop, man.
You guys started over, huh?
Yeah, we decided let's do it one more time.
That's cool, man. Yeah, we just had ours, and I'm super excited, man. But Tim, thank you so much, my brother, for coming out. I know you're busy. I know you're traveling. You got huge organization, man. You taking the time to come on is I feel very blessed, bro. I appreciate you, my brother.
You, man. Thank you, bro. Keep up what you're doing, man. You're
appreciate
helping
you,
people
man.
out.
Thank you, brother. Hey, guys, if you guys appreciate it and saw value in that episode, show it some love, okay? Share it with some people because we want to get this information out and make an impact in people's lives, right? And for those of you guys showing love in the comments, I'm going to send one of our Driven Not Given t-shirts out to one of you guys in the comments. And with that being said, I'll see you guys at the top or from the top. Take care.